Hello, race fans, and welcome to race number one for the chase for the Pepsi can. We are at Homestead Miami Speedway for the playoff opener. 6 drivers from each division will go for their championship. They will have 4 rounds to do it. The best driver with the most points at the end of the 4th round will come home the champion of their respective division. I am with the Boosted Brothers Broadcasting here with my brother Carson. Carson, you want to say hi?
Hello, Brett. I'm excited to be here for this race tonight at Homestead, Miami. And in the words of the great JJ DeBoss, a chase is a race. So, man, we should have a heck of a race here tonight.
Yes, we should, Carson. And of course, it's yours truly, Brett the Jet, on the mic here tonight. It should be, like Carson was saying, it should be a awesome race here tonight. Homestead has dynamic track here, Carson, so we'll see some multiple grooves come into play here tonight, and it should be some awesome racing with some big stakes on the line.
Yeah, Brett. I'm expecting some high intensity stuff here tonight.
Yes, that is very true, as we will throw up the results at the end of the event there. Andrew Payne, as you saw, was at the top of the leaderboard. Carson, I think he might be pretty hard to beat if he can hold on to that car and make it last to the end.
Yeah, Brett. The biggest thing with him is tire management, but he's usually fast, so we'll have to see how well he can keep that fast speed going.
That is very true, Carson, because every race matters so much now with the playoffs, and you got to be perfect for each of these races to put together the string that you want to bring it home at the end of the 4th round. As we click over to qualifying, folks, Andrew Payne, top of the board for practice. We'll see if he can do the same here in qualifying. As we will look who is rolling out on pits here. We got Dan Parmalee, Carson, out on track. We'll maybe throw it to that 710 machine. Awesome looking paint scheme here for Dan for the playoffs. I know those PPM guys were going to throw out some awesome paint schemes for most of them. I believe all of them making the chase. So some awesome schemes out of that PPM stable here. Should add at least a couple of hundredths to their speed of their cars.
And Brad, maybe an interesting change of strategy here for Andrew. Going out early and qualifying for the playoffs. Usually he waits towards the end to go out for his run.
Yep. Maybe doesn't want to see the times that people are putting up to try and compare it, or he'll just go out there and hit his marks. As Dan Parmalee comes through turns 3 and 4 for his first time lap, we'll have to see where he slots in on these leaderboards. You can see the other cars out on track at the bottom of your screen.
Good lap.
With the tower here, of course, having a we will reload this here. Some good old technical difficulties on this side, but as we see here, Dan Parmalee at the top of the board as of right now. As we see there with the updating box there, we're having some updating going on mid-qualifying, but Tanner Tallarico goes to the top of the board with a 33.69.
I just ran a 33.993, and for whatever reason, it's not giving me my lap.
As we hear someone not able to get
No,
a
not
lap.
that I know of. I mean, I ran the bottom.
So some interesting stuff going on there, Carson. We'll have to see if I believe there's nothing we can do on our own as we watch Ron Hart and the Rowdy Energy 51 machine, 051, but 51 here tonight, as it doesn't look like Brad Spranger could make the show here tonight. We will see how Ron Hart can put down a lap. Ron had 0 laps in practice, so he comes out here and usually puts it for sure in the top 5, if not the top 3, with 0 practice. So Ron is always impressive, and he will run in the top 5 all night long. We'll see for his first time lap here where Ron can slide in on this leaderboard of 14 cars.
And Brett, I think the driver who couldn't get the lap down was Andrew Payne, the fastest in practice. So changing up the strategy going out early for the playoffs, it might have hurt him.
Yep. As I am mistaken, Brad Pranger is here tonight in the 51, so we'll have to look at this Rowdy Energy car as the 051 on the scoring. There might be a tiny little 0 before that 5, Carson. We'll just imagine. As he comes off of turn 4 for his first time lap, Ron Hart with at the bottom of the board, maybe he'll just getting warmed up, and this will be his money lap here. Ron Hart down the backstretch for the final time in the 051 machine. It seems like a little bit better pace. We'll have to see where he can slot in for coming off of turn 4 there. A little bit loose, but still able to put the power down. And jumps up to 5th position. Knocks off almost a whole second off his first lap. So Ron Hart will file into the top 5 here. We'll look at the other 51 machine of Brad Pranger here. Brad with the FedEx scheme, but ex-wife instead of FedEx on the car. Pretty funny car paint scheme there as Brad comes across the start finish line as it clicks over from qualifying, Carson. The grid has been set with Tanner Tallarico leading us to the green flag. As cars start to grid on pit road, we will see who we can jump to. As we look here at the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico, we will go through
Well, it did.
the grid of tonight's
I didn't
feature.
think it counted it.
Starting on tonight's pole is Tanner Tallarico in the 1 machine. Starting to his outside, Michael Sturgill in the 90. Starting in the inside of the 2nd row, Tim Rogers in that 21 machine. Starting to his outside is Dan Parmley in the 710. Rounding out the top 5 is the 051 of Ron Hart.
Then in 6th place is the 26 machine of Mike Witt. In 7th is the 20 car of Skip Gandy. In 8th is the 75 car of Justin Callahan. In 9th place is the 5 machine of Nathan Goot. And then rounding out your top 10 is the 94 car of Jeff O'Quinn.
Starting P11th is Kyle Munson in the 28. Starting to his outside is Eric Papanow in the 43. Starting 13th is Cody Green in the 22. Starting 14th is Jamie Beasley in the 4. In the 15th position, we got Brad Pranger in the 51.
And then to finish off the field in the 16th place, we got the 2 car of John DeMeester. And then 17th, a bit of a surprise, it's Andrew Payne in the 93 machine. And then 18th is the 97 of Chris Harvey. And then rounding out the field is the 24 car of Richard Pruitt.
So that is tonight's field for race number 1 of the chase for the Pepsi Cup. So we will get the cars rolling out here. We should be, I believe, green next time by, Carson. So we will have to see how Tanner Tallarico can fire off for this race. While we have a second of downtime, Carson, we will pop up on screen the drivers in each division going for their championship. In the red division, we got the 93 car of Andrew Payne, as well as Dan Parmley in the 710, Eric Papanow in the 43, Mike Witt in the 26, Tanner Tallarico, our pole sitter, in the 1, and then Tim Rogers in the 21 starting behind him. For the blue division, we have Jamie Beasley in the 4, John DeMeester in the 2, Kyle Munson in the 28, Nathan Goot in the 5, Richard Pruitt in the 24, and Skip Gandy in the 20 machine. So those are the cars we will have to keep an eye on today. They will be the only colored cars for their division to kind of keep track in the scoring and timing. But Carson, we are going green here when the pace car will make the sharp left-hand turn, and we'll wait for the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico to fire off. He fires off, and we are green flag racing for round number 1 of the chase. Tanner Tallarico with a great start, and it looks like he will clear Michael Sturgill going into turn 1. Sturgill now with a little bit of a run, but cannot make it happen. Carson, there's a black seam down this track
we
that
got a wreck already.
Alrighty, looks like
It looked like the 51's involved in someone else.
alrighty, we will watch the replay. We have it on Jeff O'Quinn as he got loose coming off of turn 2 the first lap. The 94 gets the 5 of Nathan Goot and Kyle Munson, and a hard impact for the 94. Gets clobbered by Brad Pranger as well, and looks like a couple cars with some heavy damage, Carson. This track is very loose at the beginning. A lot of people don't realize this. I know I have sent it into turn 1, and right around that same place where Jeff O'Quinn, I lost it completely on my own, overcorrected, smacked it into the wall head on, and ended my race on lap 1. So Homestead can be very tricky on cold tires, so we'll have to see how people handle the next restarts, and if there's ever a chance to get new tires on these cars, we will have to see how they can do it. As we'll go to the live here, I believe there's a couple cars on pit road from that Brad Pranger with a lot of damage. Same with Jeff O'Quinn. So a couple nights will end early here. Neither car is in the playoffs, but there's playoff drivers involved in that wreck of the likes of Nathan Goot and Kyle Munson. So a hairy wreck there right in front of Eric Papinow as well. His car looks pretty clean. So pretty crazy way to start tonight's race, Carson, I would say.
Yeah, Brad, I would know a thing or two about overcorrecting. Just ask my car in real life, but yeah, who would have saw that coming? A wreck on the very first or the second turn of the race.
Yeah, definitely crazy stuff going on. So I will flash up on screen one more time here the driver standings here, as we got cars rolling back onto the racetrack here. These are the drivers going for their respective championships, folks, and a little bit of playoff implications early in this race. We're looking at Kyle Munson. Looks like he was able to get that car most of the way cleaned up. A little bit of damage, but a lot better than what he had rolling down pit road. We'll see a good shot of this right side here. So a good amount of right front damage. We'll have to see how that impacts this car as this race goes on. We'll go back up to the front of the field here. The lights are extinguished on the pace car, so we will be going green next time by. And Carson, I heard there is a competition caution coming on lap 45 as well, so we'll have to keep that in the back of our minds going forwards here. But I was just saying before we had that caution, Carson, right where Tanner Tallarico's running now, below that first black seam, there's not a lot of grip here at Homestead, so we'll consider the low line about right about where Tanner Tallarico's at now, just above that seam. So we'll have to see if anyone's brave enough to go below there and see if they can hang on to it, because it's usually a recipe for a disaster if you get stuck down there.
And Brett, I saw Andrew Payne go back through the pits and not stop. Is that for a penalty?
I do not know, Carson. We might have to talk to his crew chief if we get a chance and see what the decision there for Andrew Payne. Maybe he thought about getting some fuel or some tires, or maybe he just wanted to roll down pit road and give himself a little bit of a gap. But the pace car is out the field. We'll wait again for that one car to fire off. The green flag's waving, and we are racing once again here at Homestead. We'll see if we can make it a little bit further as they start to pan out in the backstretch, but this time Michael Sturgill with a better restart, still to the outside of Tanner Tallarico as they come off of turn 2. As we see Tanner Tallarico lead the way, Skip Gandy and Michael Witt battling here. Michael Witt almost into the wall trying that Kyle Larson line. Just keeps it off it, but loses some position here. Yeah, Carson, Andrew Payne back down pit road. I think he had maybe a passing before the green on the first start, so he has to serve a green flag penalty here. So another huge tough break for this 93 machine. Actually comes into his pit here.
Yeah, Brett, maybe that's why. Maybe that's what he was trying to serve there earlier, but he couldn't because it wasn't green yet.
Yep, and I do see a little bit of front end damage to that 93 machine, so that's something else we got to take into consideration as the field crosses the start finish line. It'll be interesting to see if Andrew Payne does go a lap down.
Bro. Saving a little tire, man. I'm good for a minute.
I believe that was Ron Hart in the 51 saying he's saving some tire, making sure he sets the right race pace for himself, and maybe letting someone go by. As we look at the front of the field here, Tanner Tallarico, Michael Sturgill with about a half a second lead over third place of Dan Parmalee, with Tim Rogers right on his tail. Tim Rogers, even with him being in the booth and stuff for a couple of weeks and having some bad luck, still was able to just get inside the playoffs and now can fight for a championship. We'll have to see how that 21 machine can run, see if he got all the bad luck behind him as he is sitting pretty with that Halloween Kills machine in 4th place.
I think, Brett, he's one of the sleeper picks for these playoffs. I think he's going to turn it up in these playoffs and have some really good finishes.
I believe so as well, Carson. He is very good at some short tracks, very underrated in that 21 machine, and if he can just keep that car underneath him, keep that pace, keep his head on his shoulders, he'll be a force to reckon with in these playoffs. As we look a little bit further back, one position back, another new scheme for a different PPM driver here. Skip Gandy currently leading the blue division here, sitting in 5th place. A pretty cool, very vintage scheme on that 20 tag ray machine, but always killer schemes on those cars. And he is looking pretty good sitting in the 5th position, where the next closest blue division driver is in 10th. As they're battling pretty hard behind him, Eric Papanow trying to get through this field, see if he can pass a couple of red drivers. Currently sitting the 4th best red division driver in this field, only in 7th place. So that puts in perspective what kind of competition we have for each of these divisions. As Kyle Munson, with his damage, actually goes to the 2nd running blue division driver if he can complete this pass on Jamie Beasley in the 4. So Kyle Munson in the green machine on a mission, even with the damage. He's looking to have a nice rebound after that lap 1 contact. And then we will go to another driver with a rough start, the 93 machine of Andrew Payne on his own little island, just hoping for a yellow, hoping he doesn't go a lap down by the time we get to this competition caution at lap 45. But we'll back up to the front. Interesting lines, Carson. I'm seeing some cars actually running below that black line, so maybe during this, maybe the setup is pretty tight, Carson, and they're looking for any way to loosen these cars up, whether just clipping that black seam right to get some rotation from that left side, or even sticking a half a car to just a few inches of tire below it. So interesting amount of lines being used here at Homestead with the dynamic track. I don't believe anyone's trying the Kyle Larson ripping the fence down just yet.
As right now, Brett, this battle between Ron Hart and Justin Callahan is probably one of the better ones on track. These guys have been side by side for the past few laps.
We will look at that battle now. Currently the battle for 7th and 8th position as Justin Callahan rolls that middle very nice. Gets the edge on Ron Hart, but Ron Hart will get the run off the corner and even up with him going back into turn 3. So neither guy's giving up position. I bet they're both feeling out their cars to see how they run as Justin Callahan messes up entry a little bit, and that gives the position back to Ron Hart on the top side. He must have knew we were watching, Carson.
Yep. We were just saying how good the battle was, and right there, Justin got a little too low, and it hurt him pretty bad.
Yep. As we look a little bit further back here, John DeMeester and Richard Pruitt about a 5 to 10 car gap depending on how they hit the corner. So this is the battle for a blue division spot, both in the playoffs as of right now. So we'll have to keep an eye on this battle here as it heats up as we go to the front of the field. Dan Parmley has slowly reeled in Michael Sturgill, one of the higher cars on track, as we'll ride on board and see them just clipping that black. Seem to maybe get a little bit of rotation in these cars, but no one trying too high on track, but still different lines being played, trying to see how they can wear those tires and see if they can find some speed out of these cars as this run continues on. As most people have single filed out, not too many close battles out on track that I can see, so everyone's kind of feeling out their cars, feeling the setup, seeing how this track's wearing in, and I believe probably just setting themselves up for the best starting position for the for this competition caution to come down pit road. If, of course, plans don't change before that and we get another yellow flag out on the track. Look a little bit further back. Jamie Beasley not letting Kyle Munson out of his sight here for the Blue Division second place position here. About just under half a second between these two cars. We'll have to see if Kyle Munson used up any of his stuff early in this run to try and get some positions back, try and stay out of the Hornets' nest for this next restart. Nathan Goop sitting in the 13th position here had a little bit of right front damage. You can almost kind of see it at the bottom right of your screen. A little bit of crinkle in the hood and the bumper. Nathan trying to put together a good race here, manage his car, manage his race, and try and see what he can pull out of the hat at the end of this finish to try and position him best for these playoffs in the next couple of rounds. Then we'll go to the 26 car. We haven't talked about him tonight in these playoffs. Michael Witt started, I believe, 6th, Carson. Fell back to 9th right now, was trying some different lines. I think he saw that it wasn't working, so just managing his stuff, maybe experimenting with some stuff. Doesn't have too much to lose as of right now, and see if he can find some speed in that 26 car to maybe make a push here late in this race. I know Mike Witt had some hardware upgrades to his sim setup about 3/4 of the way through this season, so we'll have to see how those can help him out in these playoffs as he's still getting acclimated to his hardware. But already I've seen some big improvements out of that 26, especially in those super late model series where I race against him. But looks like we might have that battle for 7th, 8th place, Carson, heating back up between Justin Callahan and Ron Hart.
Yeah, Brett, I've been watching these guys for most of this run here. These guys, like I was saying,
Woo!
Ron gets real loose.
Yeah, Ron Hart drifting that thing off the corner. That's going to kill his speed down the whole straightaway, and he's going to lose 2 positions because of it. I was just about to say, Carson, Justin Callahan needs to enter a little bit higher. Not really arc Ron Hart out coming in, but just use up a little bit more of that track to try and carry some better momentum to complete the pass. But didn't have to worry about that with Ron Hart getting that loose coming off the corner. Impressive save out of that 051 machine of Ron Hart. Now Ron will have to take it a little bit easy, try and cool off that right rear as we see him loose again off of turn 4. So his right rear is definitely hot, overheated, feeling the pain. So he's definitely going to have to baby that thing for a few laps, cool it on down, and then get back into a rhythm as he is trying the Kyle Larson line now. And I don't think that would be helpful to that right rear just because of how much momentum and how early you have to get on that gas.
And like you said, you can tell he's used up the tires pretty good there on that one ride. Probably kind of like he's driving on. Feels like he's driving on ice now.
Yep. As we rode on board at the middle and coming off the corner, you can just hear Ron working that throttle as well as hearing that right rear tires spinning, looking for grip. As he is one of the only cars up there, so he is putting in the grip on the track for himself maybe later in this race as Justin Callahan gets loose, and that opens the door for Mike Witt. Mike Witt comes in really high. We'll see what kind of run he can get on off this corner, but I believe Justin Callahan has the advantage. We'll see. I assume Witt will get the run down the front stretch and be pretty even going back into turn 1 here. Mike Witt with the preferred traction, just a hair coming off, so we'll see if he can put down the power and clear Justin Callahan.
More problems for the 051 of Ron Hart. He got into the wall there, Brad, in between 1 and 2.
Oh man, so already the first homestead stripe of the night, at least one out of the 051 machine, and Mike Witt does complete that pass, so he now moves into 7th position. So maybe Mike Witt was just really babying those tires, seeing what he can do, really prepare himself for this long run after laps 45 competition caution. We'll go back up to the front of the field. Tanner Tallarico still on that white line, getting that car to rotate, taking the shortest way around this racetrack and making it work. Has led every single lap of this race so far.
And I wonder, Brett, if Tanner's going to catch Andrew before his competition caution. It'll be close.
Yeah, it seems like Andrew is keeping about the same gap, maybe losing maybe a tenth a lap, so I don't believe Tanner will get there in time with it only being about 15, 16 laps away. So I think Andrew should be safe till the competition caution, but he needs to make no mistakes, not worsen the already bad start of the night for that 93 machine. As the top 3 have really checked out, almost a to Tanner, to our 4th place driver of Tim Rogers, about almost a 4-second gap. So these leaders are not saving any tire, really setting a very fast pace here to this competition caution.
This man, Ron Hart's really having a handful for this car. I think he's just got to hold on now to the competition caution. He's sliding it seemingly every turn.
Yep, that right rear is just going to keep on getting hotter and hotter for that 51 as he gets the wall once again in 1 and 2, Carson. You just got to hang on to that car and just last 15 laps because, yeah, he is loose. Oh, he is very out of shape all the way on the apron of the backstretch as we're on board with
Yeah.
the 051 machine all the way back to 15th position. So
He's really having trouble.
yeah, he just needs to calm it down, back it on down, make it last, and just come on in and get those fresh tires when it comes time. Now Andrew, if Andrew had a little bit more gap and he was closer to the field cars, I'd almost, if I was him, I would do the big brain strategy of coming in to pit road just before the yellow is thrown to come in, get those tires, but then when everyone else comes in under yellow flag, come out as the leader. But I believe Tanner Tallarico is way too close for Andrew Payne to make that strategy happen in that 93 cars. Tanner Tallarico is about a quarter of a track behind.
Yeah, Brett, that would be a good strategy, but like you said, probably just not enough room. But it would have been really smart if he was able to somehow extend this gap. But
Yep. Now, if I was a John DeMeester, Richard Pruitt, or even maybe Nathan Goot or Jamie Beasley, for that matter, right there in these Blue Division drivers towards the tail end of the field, that would be going through my mind right now if I was a crew chief up on their box. Really try something wild to really try and benefit and get some good track position, because as we saw that lap 1, these cars are very unstable on cold tires at this place. Carson, what do you say we do a little crank it up here for a minute? We'll let the cars do the talking here for a lap or two as we are closing in on this competition caution.
I say let's roll it.
We haven't talked about him too much, Carson, here with all the playoff drivers. They got their highlights, but of course now we got to go through the rest of the field here. A very strong run, a little loose off the corner that time for the 90 machine of Michael Sturgill. Another great competitor out here. Glad to see Mr. Sturgill out here running well in that 90 machine, not letting Tanner Tallarico get too far out in front at all, keeping the pressure there and just feeling out the car, making sure he can hit his marks, and he's having some awesome pace out here in that 90 machine. We'll look a little bit further back. We talked about him a little bit, Justin Callahan in that 75 0X machine in McConey's setup shop. Running pretty good, had that awesome battle with Ron Hart. Currently sitting in the 8th position. And we got Cody Green in the 22, putting the pressure on Kyle Munson in that 28 green machine. Cody Green looking pretty good in that sweet looking 22 machine. Very Miami schemed, I would say. And of course, Chris Harvey, always a force to be reckoned with at the end of their races, it seems. Always seems like starts to the back, manages his own race, and can makes magic happen in the end of the race. Maybe one of the closers of the series. And then Ron Hart back here in the 051 machine, just keeping that car underneath him now, running that low side, just making sure he hits that marks, keeping that car underneath him, and just hanging on till this competition caution here in about 5 laps.
And Brett, it looks like we are starting to have a battle heat up here between Cody Green and Kyle Munson. They're side by side now.
Yep. And it looks like Richard Pruitt actually down on pit road, Carson. So maybe he heard, maybe his crew chief told him, he heard maybe us talking, and I believe it looks like that car is all good. So or sorry, he actually jumped to pit. So let's see if we can. Actually, no. I believe he had just a pit stop, Carson.
Yeah, Brett. It says that he disconnected, so I think he had a computer issue there.
Well, the only saving grace for that 24 machine is I believe he is the only car a lap down. So a bummer to see for that 24 car, but or maybe he is more than just a lap down, as my scoring shows. So
he's 8 laps down because he's been out for a few laps, disconnected.
So a bummer for that 24 team there with that connection issue. But the playoffs and racing in general have around half of it's skill and how well you run. The other half of it is especially luck, especially when it comes to playoff time. So a heartbreaking way to see that happen early on in this race, but a setback that team now has to overcome.
Now, Brett, would you maybe want Ron Hart with how his tires are to come in early, like you're thinking?
Yeah, I think anyone that's outside of the top 10 should be considering coming in early if they have the space to do so compared to Tanner Tallarico. But now with John DeMeester going a lap down, he will be the lucky dog car when this yellow flag comes out. So you cannot afford now to go a lap down because John DeMeester will get the lucky dog and you will not be eligible. So
yeah, but we'll have to see. Maybe this 051 machine will come in early, but like we were saying, Andrew Payne now under fire from Tanner, so he won't be able to come in.
Yeah, Andrew Payne now to about an eighth of this 1.5 mile track of Homestead. So definitely way too close to come in early and try some strategy for that 93 machine. As we do click over to lap 45, so I believe we'll see the caution by the time that one car hits the start-finish line next time by.
As man, Brett, like I was saying, Andrew just had enough time. I knew it was going to be close. He was just able to stay out of front of Tanner for long enough. Maybe 2 more laps and Tanner would have caught him and he would have been in trouble, but just had enough time.
Yep, as the yellow flag is out for this competition caution, the leaders will catch this pace car or let the pace car by, depending on, I assume they have to catch this pace car, so we will probably be seeing pit stops next time by. As Chris Harvey was able to get around the 28 car of Kyle Munson just before that yellow flag came out. So Chris Harvey now squeaks his way into this top 10 just before the start of the pit stop cycle here. As the pace car picks up these leaders. Everyone gets woed on down. Hopefully close all the gaps to try and make the most optimal pit stop here. This could be the last caution we see with how people are racing each other and how they got spread out here to begin or after our first yellow. So this could be the money stop if we don't see any more yellows, as I assume everyone in this field will make their way to pit road. As the one car of Tanner Tallarico leads them down pit road, hits that pit road speed limit, and we'll see how everyone handles their pit stops.
Well, Brett, we don't know for sure if this is going to be the last yellow because you never know. Sometimes cautions breed cautions.
Yep, especially a difficult track like tonight with how difficult it is on cold tires. As we'll see everyone come in for 4 virtual Goodyear tires, fill it up with 2 cans of fuel, and be ready to make this run towards the end. As Tanner Tallarico leads the way off of pit road, followed by Michael Sturgill, Dan Parmalee, and Skip Gandy. As we see the 43 machine of Eric Papanow stay out on track, I believe probably to lead a lap. I assume he'll come down pit road either this time or next time by. But he will get a bonus point for leading a lap, and that'll help to the championship for this 43 team.
That's a pretty smart move, Brett. He already had a big run going in this race, so that's a pretty smart move there to just try to get some points. He knows how to get points. He gets a lot of fantasy points, so I think he knows how to get points in this race too, as there he goes into pits.
Yep, as he will now make the sharp left-hand turn to pit road, and that will follow the lead over to Tanner Tallarico. Richard Pruitt will get waved by the pace car and at least make one of his laps back here by the time the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. Carson, real quick, you think we got time to maybe ask Tanner, see how his race is going, and get a quick in-car race update from that one team?
Yeah, if you think you got time to ask him a question or two quick, go ahead.
Alrighty, let's see if I can guess the right camera here. A little zoomed in from our camera crew, but that'll be alright because we will talk to the one car of Tanner Tallarico. Hey Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett and Carson in the booth.
Hey Brett.
So Tanner, we just wanted to give you a quick interview here. You have led all the laps except for under yellow here with Eric Papanow getting a bonus point. How's this one car running, and how are you keeping this pace so well over this field here tonight?
It's running all right so far. There's a couple things that I'm still trying to figure out in 3 and 4. It seems like we're all kind of glued to the bottom right now, and I get through 1 and 2 really, really well, but it seems like in the middle of 3 and 4, I'm fighting a spot right in the middle of the corner where it kind of gets snug on me. So I'm trying to figure that out, and try to help my exit speed off of 4 a little bit. But overall, not terrible. Just want to work on that little thing there in the middle of 3 and 4, and try to keep this thing in clean air and lead a few more laps.
There you go, Tanner. Well, you have done a great job leading all the green flag laps here tonight. It does seem like the challenge spot here is coming off of turn 4. We saw a couple drivers, especially Ron Hart, very sideways, so it seems like a little bit traction limited, let's say, coming off the turn 4 here tonight.
Yeah, especially down low, there's just not a lot of banking to lean on, it seems like, on exit. So yeah, you're really likely to slide to right rear, so you kind of got to be careful and baby it, especially on cold tires. I'm sure you'll see a few guys do it right here, but once we get about 5 or 6 laps on tires, it's not too bad. You just kind of got to manage it.
Alrighty, Tanner. Well, you're about to go green, so we won't keep you any longer. Good luck, and hopefully talk to you here later.
Thanks, buddy.
Alrighty, that was the one car of Tanner Tallarico. Figure we won't keep him too long as he is about to fire off and take us to green flag once again. The one car gets an awesome start there, just goes before the green. He can go whenever he feels ready. And Tanner Tallarico with about a 5-car least gap advantage over the 90 of Michael Sturgill.
Yeah, Brett, nice iRacing restart there for Tanner Tirico.
Yep, as he is clean and green, leading this race once again. And Tim Rogers actually had to start from the back there, Carson, as well. Maybe he got some sort of penalty or maybe sped on pit road, but Tim Rogers and Andrew Payne will both be fighting through this field in those black and orange cars, as they are 3 wide here in this field.
Yeah, we got some guys back here with not having the runs they were wanted, now just trying to send it, trying to get to the front as fast as they can.
Yep, Carson, and that's all the playoffs are, especially if you make a mistake, it's all about overcoming that mistake, not letting that mistake define the night. As Tim Rogers does get clear and now sets his sights on Michael Witt in that 26 car. As we see Richard Pruitt once again on pit road. I think some more struggles for that 24 team, so even more of a heartbreak for that team. But Tim Rogers, a man on the mission right now, slicing and dicing through this field all the way back up to 6th position and trying to get 5th from Skip Gandy in that 20 car now right in front of him.
And Brett, I got a little nugget here from the driver chat that Ron Hart said his right rear from that last run got all the way down to 37%. So that shows you just how much you worked.
Oh, and contact! Skip Gandy spins. No yellow flag. Andrew Payne also involved. There is the yellow flag.
Yep. He almost saved it.
Oh man, Carson. More drama, more trouble for playoff drivers. Tim Rogers on the inside of Skip Gandy in that 20, and of course some net code had to be involved. And then Skip trying to save it, gets clipped by Andrew Payne pretty good in that left side, and then Skip spins it out on track. Luckily brings out that caution for all those drivers involved, but some more trouble for some playoff drivers as this race continues.
And what was I saying? Cautions breed cautions. I expected one soon after that caution flag. I could see some guys coming out from that and trying to push as quick as they could, as fast as they could, and that might have been the case there.
Yep, I would agree, Carson. So we will have to see if anyone claims that yellow, what might be the cause, and we'll see if anyone does some strategy, Carson. I mean, 5 laps on these tires doesn't sound like a lot, but as we heard in those 45 laps, a huge amount of tire wear for some of these drivers, as the first taker on pit road is Kyle Munson to play some strategy here. Being followed down pit road is Chris Harvey, John DeMeester, Eric Papanow, Skip Gandy. All drivers coming in. I assume Skip will get some damage repair, but I would not be surprised if we see 4 tires come on these cars that come in. I do not know how many sets of tires these drivers do have tonight. I'd assume 3 sets, so 2 sets might be used up here already for some of these drivers.
And Brett, it looks like we were thinking, Tim Rogers was the claimer for that wreck.
Alrighty, so the 21 will be starting in the back once again for another restart. If I was Tim Rogers, I would probably come in and take some tires just to get an advantage, just in case if it does go green, because everyone did manage their stuff pretty well for the most part in that run there. So if I was Tim Rogers in that 21 to try and get some sort of advantage, I'd come down, put 4 fresh tires on this car, and try and see how I could go through this field once again. He did it once before. I assume he can do it again.
Yeah, Brett, I totally agree with that call. He's got nothing to lose by pin. He's already going to be starting at the back, so might as well take the fresh tires and run with them.
Yep. As he does stay out for another lap, I assume waiting for the guys to come around him on track. You see the report up on screen. Contact between the 21 and the 2021 car. Claimed the yellow, and we'll be starting at the back of this restart.
And man, Brett, as we are talking about, I'm saying we might have some good momentum, or some better momentum, excuse me, in the playoffs. And right as we were saying something before the race, Tim has an incident and is now at the back. So it's
Yep.
kind of how it goes when the announcers say something. It's kind of that jinx.
Yep. But luckily, Tim still has half the race in front of him to
Yep.
bounce back. So
He does have time.
just like I said before, winning a championship or even being in contention is all about overcoming the adversity through a race. So I assume Tim Rogers will be able to bounce back from this, but some more struggles here. As I believe we have Richard Pruitt now in the booth. How's it going, Rich?
Not too good.
Yeah, we saw maybe some connection issues, and that set you down, and then maybe some more issues for that 24 team. So not the way we wanted to see this 24 team start the chase for the Pepsi Cup here.
Definitely not. I had a special Mountain Dew Baja Blast paint scheme on the car, and it blended in with the wall perfectly. That was my strategy, blend in on the high side and pass them all. But, yeah, I had some electrical problems, and then we blew up on the restart. So our night's done with the 24 Mountain Dew Chevrolet.
Ah, dang. Well, me and Carson were just talking about it. The way to be in the championship contention is overcoming adversity, and the bummer for this 24 team is now you got a very large mountain to climb, but it still can be done. We never know with these races. I like to say, especially with playoff time, it's about 50% how well you actually run, 50% luck.
Absolutely, and we're going to need a lot of bad luck on those other 5 drivers' parts for me to have a shot at it, but there's nothing we can do about it tonight, so we're going to move on to, I think it's Rockingham next week or 2 weeks.
Yep. As we see the lights extinguished on the pace car, that's going to make the hard left-hand turn to pit road, and we'll wait for Tanner Tallarico to fire off in the 1 car. Fires off, gets another great restart, Carson, and I think this time by turn 1 he might have like 10 car length advantage coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Brett, you'd almost maybe think he was practicing restarts with the good iRacing restarts he's been getting here tonight.
That is for sure. As we see the field kind of fan out a little bit towards the back with, I believe, right around John DeMeester and Nathan Goot and Skip Gandy, all Blue Division drivers right there, almost 3 wide, trying to figure out the lines to run. Same with Tim Rogers now trying to go back through the field once again in that 21 car.
Yeah, Brett, and Andrew Payne now with that caution and moving his way up now to 6th, so watch out for him. He's having a good run here going in the second half of this race.
Yep, rebounded, was able to start inside with the field now, doesn't have to come down pit road, I believe, and going to try and see what that 93 car has with that slight damage to that right front. But
Looks like at the moment we got Jamie Beasley is the leader of the Blue Division as far as the championship contenders go. Up to see if he can hang on to it. He's got Skip Gandy close in on him.
Yep, Jamie Beasley is the Blue Division leader out here running in just inside the top 10 in the 10th position. But yep, the next car behind him is Skip Gandy, who was involved in that last yellow. I believe has 4 fresh tires on that 20 car, so he will be looking to come through this field. But Rich, you're out there on track. What kind of things do we have to keep an eye out? It looked like it was pretty loose off of turn 4.
It was, especially if you weren't careful with the throttle. But for the 24 Mountain Dew Chevrolet, we were super, super tight. So you got to take care of those tires, especially that right front.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of guessing that with how low everyone was running. You don't see a lot of people run below that black seam unless the cars are super tight and bound up, and maybe use that black seam as well to get it to rotate. So that makes sense that it's loosened, and then you got so much wheel at the apex coming in that it can get the snap loose coming off and can get out of control in a hurry.
That was the line that I was trying to run, but towards the end of the run there, I had to run the high side because I just burned the right front completely up.
Oh, man. As, yeah, these leaders are doing a phenomenal job of keeping it out the bottom. I don't think I've seen Tanner yet go above that black seam on this track, so he is hitting his marks trying to manage his stuff, but Michael Sturgill right on his bumper. We'll see if maybe the 90 car will try and push just a hair and see if he can overtake the one car and become the new race leader.
That 90 car is kind of blank. You think we might see some RogerCars.com stickers on there in the next few weeks?
Yeah, especially if he can pull off a
Yep,
top 3. I think
that's what I was saying.
Tim will be all over that for a Rogers Car sponsor. I'm surprised Tanner doesn't have a Rogers Car main scheme on that car, because he usually had some pretty good luck with it. Maybe he's saving it for later in the playoffs. But as we look a little
He's
bit,
went to victory lane every time he's running. I believe I'd have that on my car for every playoff race.
yeah, I'm right there with you, Pruitt. I'm not too much of a let's say I forget the word now, but superstitious, thank you, with my paint schemes. But I've noticed every time I try and change something up a little bit, usually might not end the best. But how about Ron Hart here running in the 4th position? Rebounded, got some fresh tires on that car and looking quick. Now he just has to make sure he doesn't burn off that right rear, excuse me, like we saw in that first run.
Yeah, another guy, Brett, who had the competition caution come at an opportune time to really help him get a nice run in for the rest of this race.
As he looks to the inside of Dan Parmley for that 3rd position, doesn't quite get the run off the corner, so he'll slap back in, get the draft, and maybe think about making another charge here in about a lap.
The question is, can he make those tires last? Because he was really slow towards the end of that first run, and you can tell that he had, I think he said his right rear tire had worn down all the way to 37%, so he definitely was not very kind to his tires in the opening stage of the race.
Yeah, that is very true. If he keeps that pace for the second half, he'll definitely have to come in and get that right rear replaced by the time the end of this race rolls around. As we see a battle for the 7th position of Michael Witt and Andrew Payne.
And Brett, I wonder about tires with Andrew, because we were kind of talking about that before the race, and he had some momentum coming out of the caution, but now it's kind of stagnated and been stuck right around 6th and 7th.
Yep, maybe he's really conserving those tires, or maybe he used them up going through that field in that first run, because especially here at Homestead, it really matters, just like anywhere in these Xfinity cars, it really matters how you break in these tires, and if you're kind to them in the first, let's say, 5 to 10 laps, they're usually a lot happier as the race goes on.
He does have some right front damage, and Homestead's just big enough and banked enough that that does play a factor. So I'm thinking that has a lot to do with why we hadn't seen him crack the top 5.
Yep, as we got a battle for the race lead now. Michael Sturgill on the bottom, Tanner Tallarico on the top side. And I believe if Sturgill can kind of get a run off this corner, he should be sitting pretty as when they come off of turn 4. Now the saving grace for this one team is Michael Sturgill is not in the playoffs, so Tanner can lose a spot and not have too much repercussions due to I forget if there's a bonus point. I believe there's a couple bonus points for winning the race, but not too large. So Tanner doesn't have to fight too hard to keep this position if he wants to save tires, or maybe he will just to maybe practice a little bit of battling if he comes under fire here at some point later in this race as well.
You can hold somebody off in that middle lane, use the momentum coming off of exit onto the straightaways, and make it really hard on that person that's trying to pass you on the inside. And it looks like that's what Tanner's trying to do.
Yep, it does seem that. But I tell you what, that 90 car, I think he might be one of the best to get a run off of turn 4. So I think that 90 car might have figured something out to really carry some momentum and some speed off of turn 4, where everyone seems to be struggling here tonight. Don't look too far back here. Eric Papanow has kind of reeled in Dan Parmalee, so this might be a battle for the second red division spot here on track.
Yeah, Brett, he's
performance teammates there. You got to give that team credit. They always have some of the best looking paint schemes on the track.
Yes, they do. And doing some special schemes for the playoffs. Some very sharp looking cars, all out of that PPEM stable here at Homestead.
Does look like Skip Gandy in the 20 car was able to get around Jamie Beasley in the 4, and now with the Blue Division drivers in the chase, he would now be the highest one. So at the moment, Skip, your points leader for the Blue Division.
Yep, as he is now about half a second to now maybe 3/4 of a second in front of Jamie Beasley, but they're all doing a pretty good job at minimizing their damage because it's only one point difference between all those guys. And even for you, Pruitt, if it stays like this, you won't be sitting too far out compared to your Blue Division competitors.
Yeah, I'm sitting here calculating it, and if it's a point per position, shame on me for not knowing the point system, but I'd only be about 6 or 7 points out. It's not bad with all things considered.
Yep, as now we see Skip Gandy get around Andrew Payne in that 93 car, so maybe that 93 car is fading with that damage that maybe has not been repaired, or maybe the tires used up a little too early on that 93 machine. So Andrew Payne, the struggles continue for that 93 car as he is currently the lowest red division driver out on track.
It does look like the splitter's damaged from the backstretch view there, or from the front stretch view there, excuse me. So I do think that has major effects. And that now that if you look from TV1, you can definitely see the splitters.
Yep. And any sort of crinkle with these cars on iRacing, they lose about at least 1/10 to 2/10 a lap with any sort of damage. Jamie Beasley, sideways off of turn 4 there, does a heck of a job saving it, keeping it off both the outside and inside walls. So Jamie just needs to keep on hitting his marks, not push super hard, but now that opens the door for Kyle Munson to try and close the gap there behind him.
Like he just got in the throttle a little too much coming out of turn 4 there, and around she went.
Yep, that's the old rocking chair, I like to say, Richard, is you're trying to push the car as much as you can, try and lean back in the chair as much as you can without tipping over. And it's a fine line to do and very hard to tell yourself, especially in the moment. Is now Dan Parmalee.
Beasley now just wrecked getting on the pit road.
Oh no, so more trouble for another Ironman Motorsports driver. Jamie Beasley is now on pit road. And Dan Parmalee and Ron Hart now side by side. That opens the door for Eric Papanow maybe to stick his nose in the high side. So a lot of action all of a sudden happening on track at once here in this race. Looks like
Ron Hart got super loose coming out before. It looks like he's going to give the momentum to Papanow.
Yep, I was just about to say that. It looks like Ron Hart is starting to lose that right rear again. So managing it a little bit better this run, but looks like the 051 machine might be falling into the old same trap as the first run of losing that right rear. As now he might be under fire of that 75 car, Justin Callahan now. As Ron Hart struggling off of turn 4 once again, got loose again, and that opens the door for Justin Callahan in that 75 car. So I think the drivability in Ron's car is starting to go away with that right rear heating up. He needs to slow down the pace a lot, really take care of that right rear now before it gets any worse, and try and cool it on off before it becomes more of an issue, just like we saw in that first run. As Cody Green looks to the inside now, Michael Witt. I believe Cody Green, let me double check, make sure right before I say anything, he did not actually pit in that last yellow. So Cody Green doing a good job of managing his stuff, and now to the inside of Mike Witt in that 26 car. We'll see. Does not get the run off the corner, but as we look to the front of the field, Once again, the top two have checked out in their own little zip code. Michael Sturgill not letting Tanner Tallarico get far away at all, making sure he keeps the pressure on him. Be there if that one car makes that rare mistake on track.
And the 4 of Jamie Beasley, he was coming in to get his last set of tires early, but as I said, he spun getting onto the pit roads and he got a speeding penalty. He's now trapped 3 laps down, so a tough break for Jamie in that number 4 Taz car.
Yep, some more playoff implications there. I do like the strategy of coming in early and trying some strategy here, see what you can make happen, because I believe, I mean, there is some tight battles going on in this field, so there might be a yellow to be had, but as of right now, it seems like everyone's minding their P's and Q's. Looks like we got a battle for the 9th and 10th position. Drivers that got into it a little bit with some net code, the 20 and the 21 of Tim Rogers and Skip Gandy. As well as we see Ron Hart now come into pit road, take those tires early, and see what he can do for this second half of this run. As we see Tim get stuck on the high side. I believe he got loose, so lost a little bit of time, so now you have to hit his marks, reel him back in.
It does look like the battle for the lead is kind of heating up here as Sturgill has closed back on the bumper of Tallarico. I think he's just biding his time at the moment, not pushing it too hard. He wants to size Tanner up and see where the best place to get a run off of him to be able to complete the pass.
Yep, as well as now with pit strategy starting Tim Rogers, Cody Green on pit road. Maybe he's waiting to see when this one car wants to come down, or the cards are in Sturgill's favor. He can come in before the one car and maybe gain some time there, or see if he can outlast the one car and see if maybe staying on these older tires to push a little bit harder later in this run. So the cards are in the 90s favor to have some pit road strategy.
I would not let the one car come to pit road before me if I'm in that 90 car, because Tanner is so good at saving tires. I would want to have the fresh tires to use to my advantage if I was in the 90.
Yep, especially with how hard we've seen it is to pass. I mean, as long as you can keep that inside guy pinched down a little bit, especially on entry, they usually can't carry the speed coming off the corner. So I would agree with you there, Pruitt, that if I'm Sturgill in that 90 car, I would be coming down, if I could guess, a lap earlier than the one car of Tanner Tallarico, as now we see Michael Witt in that 26 car come to pit road. I assume no one can make it on fuel if we see most of this field come in to get some tires and some fuel, so we'll have to wait and see when these leaders decide to come on in. We also have Nathan Goot on pit road for that blue division, so
I can confirm you're about 12 to 15 laps short on fuel for that final stage.
alrighty. Carson, you got any updates?
Not really. Just I was gonna say that the 43 car has been a lot faster in this race than in the previous sessions of practice and qualifying. He's, I think, the biggest mover out there, so we could potentially be looking at him sneaking in for a top 3.
Yeah, he is currently running third position, got around Dan Parmley in that 710 car, as Dan now cuts it to pit road, so the 710 machine down on pit road. So Eric Papanow with an awesome rebound to the start of tonight's race. I believe he got, I don't think he actually got some damage from that initial wreck. he had to avoid it, that's for sure. So an awesome job coming back from that, and sitting pretty here in third position. We'll have to see when he comes to pit road.
Yeah, he's made one of the biggest moves. He started 12th and is up to third, so he's been just fast and really making his way through the field cleanly.
And there we go.
Mike
We see
struggled to pit road, the second place car, so he did beat Tanner into the pits. We'll have to see if he can take advantage of that and get the lead after green flag pit stops.
Yep, so some more strategy going, and like we said, he short pitted Tanner. We all thought that was the right move for that 90 car to make. Now we'll see how long Tanner Tallarico stays out, because he is only losing time staying out compared to Sturgill that pitted that lap.
I'd be willing to bet he's coming to pit road this time. And indeed, here he comes.
Yep. He gets on the binders, gets a low down to pit road speed, so the one car on pit road, Eric Papanow, stays out to lead another lap in that 43 car. So 25 laps to go in this race, and I assume we'll see Eric Papanow coming in this time, if not for sure by next lap.
Yeah, but I wonder if he might stay out a little longer, considering he did stay out earlier with the competition caution to get bonus points. So maybe he'll stay out a bit for bonus points. So we'll have to see.
Yep, he did pit on last lap on lap 55, whereas most of the guys around him did pit on lap 47. So Eric Papanow may have a little bit of extra fuel in the tank, but if Richard Pruitt's right, and I believe he is, I think he'll still be just a smidge too short, unless if he really saves. But that can cause a lot of time lost there. So.
And Mike Sturgill is ahead of Tanner Tallarico, so pitting the lap early made a difference. He is, I would assume, the new leader once green flag pit stops are complete.
Yep, as he tries to get around some guys for position, it looks like, of Dan Parmley in that 710 and Ron Hart in front of him. Ron Hart is the leader once pit cycles do go through, but I think Michael Sturgill will get him by the time they exit turn 4 here. So once it all cycles on through, Sturgill will be the leader, and Tanner Tallarico has about 5 cars in between him and Sturgill to try and pass and see if he can reel in this 90 car.
Show a little bit of love to our part-time driver in that 97 car, Chris Harvey. He was the winner out at Las Vegas. He's quietly creeped into third place. So if I was him, I would stay out as long as possible and had the freshest tires at the end. And Chris Harvey really, really fast. When he wants to be, when he's aggressive, he could potentially pull one out on these guys and get a second win of the season. Right now in third place.
Yep, I like to say he's the closer, because he'll spend his race quietly making his way through the field, and then all of a sudden about 10 to go, 15 to go, you're like, holy smokes, where'd this 97 car come from? As we go back to the leader, Eric Papanow continues to stay on track. Tim Rogers trying to get his lap back here from this 43 car.
Yeah, Brett, I think I don't know how long he's gonna push it, but I think he is pushing it like I thought. I think he wants the points, so he might stay out for longer than we think and just try to get points, or maybe even go to the end of the race. It'd be tough for him to do that, though.
Like Tim Rogers got the ball there right in front of the leader.
Yeah, I agree. He had a little bit of maybe some Bodie action or some tail wagging down that backstretch, and yeah, I believe he got at the wall a little bit. Now it gives himself plenty of room down the front stretch for that 21 machine. As we see Andrew Payne now come to pit road, so Andrew Payne now down pit road. Michael Sturgill continues to lead the way of this field. Oh, got in the back of John DeMeester a little bit, so now the 90 car will have some front end damage. We'll see how bad that hurts the 90, because Tanner Tallarico now within a second.
Yeah, that might be something to watch here for the rest of this race. That may make a big difference.
Yep, a little bit of splitter crinkle, a little bit of hood crinkle, and bumper crinkle. So, as we saw, that can slow down a car anywhere from a tenth to 3/10. We might have to put up the lap history up on screen and see if he starts losing some time to Tanner Tallarico. as Tanner caught him that last time with that contact, a whole 4/10 of a second. Now that last time by 2/10 of a second. So Tanner Tallarico is closing in on this 90 car with 18 laps to go. As they file out, Eric Papanow, the current race leader, is leading the red division. And then Kyle Munson is leading the blue division in 4th place, followed by Skip Gandy right there, right behind him, about a second and a half off. As that time by another 2/10 clicked off for that one car, so Tanner is on the move catching Michael Sturgill. The question is, will he be able to pass that 90 car?
And Brett, do you think the 43 machine can push this and try to make it to the end?
I assume with the pace he was running, probably not if I had to guess. But if he can somehow really save and really get in some draft here, he might be able to surprise us all. If I was Papanow, though, especially pitting this late, I'd probably try just a splash and go, or maybe just right sides, and try and make that pit stop as quick as possible, due to these leaders being so much faster on track. Well, the guys that pitted, excuse me, being so much faster on track and closing in about. I have to watch the gap next time by, but at least half a second a lap. As Sturgill actually matched Tanner's lap time that last time by, so Sturgill was maybe just hanging on to his stuff, making sure he could save a little bit of that lap advantage of tires that Tanner has. So we have to see how these two can duke it out here. As we click over to 15 laps to go. 100 laps down in this race, 15 to go. Tanner Tallarico gets a run off of turn 4. Looks to the inside of Michael Sturgill going into turn 1. Sturgill drifts up a lot. That loses a lot of momentum. He'll have to see what he can do. Maybe looking for the crossover on the one car. Now the inside advantage goes to Michael Sturgill. We'll see how he can maybe get off turn 4 here on the inside with the one car to his outside.
Tanner's going to carry the momentum coming out of the turn here, I believe. And without damage on the one car, I think he's going to be able to pull away from Sturgill in the long run.
Yep, as he does clear him into turn 1, so Tanner Tallarico does take that position. If the cars in front of him do end up pitting, he'll cycle out to the race lead. As we go back to the front, Eric Papanow is still out leading this lap. Clicks over to 13 laps to go.
Currently has about a 19-second lead over the 1 and the 90, so I don't know that they have enough time to run him down if he can make it to the end.
Yeah, I don't believe so, because they're clicking off now about a second a lap, so they look like about 17 seconds back, so that means they will run out of time to catch this 43 car if he does not have to come in and take fuel.
So was there another caution after the comp caution? Because I was away from the race for a while in the infield medical center.
Yes, there was. There was a contact between the 20 and the 21 car, and that brought out.
Okay, that explains the damage on about half of these cars out here. They can stretch it. I'm not sure. Without that caution for the wreck, they were going to be short for sure. But with that caution, he might be able to stretch it to the end here.
Yeah, we will have to see what kind of rabbit the 43 can pull out of his hat. I mean, he was all the way up to 3rd position before the pit cycle, so that 43 car did have some speed in that thing, so we'll have to see if he can continue it on and make it to the end.
And Brett, you said the 43 also pitted on that left 55 caution as well, right?
Yep, he was currently down on pit road on lap 55. So we will have to see if he can make it. I did see a little. I'm not sure if it's just visual on my end or if that 43 car does have a smidge of right rear damage. So any sort of damage will hurt fuel efficiency as well. But with him taking some extra fuel, that might be just enough for that 43 machine to get it back, as there's a battle behind them for that last lucky dog spot. But I assume Andrew Payne with pitting will be able to come around this 43 car and leave Nathan Goot the lucky dog, unless Nathan can even get around this leader. Looks like he is closing in on him.
Yeah, Paps actually caught that damage in the opening wreck with the 94 car, and I believe somebody got in the back of him when he was checking up to avoid the wreck.
Gotcha. Yeah, surprisingly, not too many clean cars out here in this race. As we see Nathan Goot
I'll tell you who does have a clean car is that one of Tanner Tallarico, who's only 13 seconds back.
Yep, he is on the move. I believe this time he at least knows that there's a couple cars in front of him, so he knows to push it and not let a win slip away if he can. As we see Nathan Goot try and get his lap back the hard way on the 43 car. Should be able to clear him. As we see, actually, Michael Sturgill come down pit road and I think maybe even park it. I don't know if he got some extra damage or was just frustrated with the way that his race went, but Michael Sturgill now on pit road. Click over to
shame to see him get the damage with the 2 car there. It would have been a heck of a battle for the win if Paps can't make it on field.
Yep, that is very true. As we see Tanner Tallarico about 11 seconds back, just got around Skip Gandy for that 4th position. So now he'll set his eyes on Kyle Munson.
I do believe Tanner will get around the 28 and the 97 to get up the 2nd spot. I don't think he has enough time to catch in just, 6 or 7 laps here to catch Paps unless he runs out of fuel.
Yep, Eric Papanow is currently in the race against himself and against that fuel gauge. So Eric Papanow would just have to manage his race here. Has some time to give if he really has to back it down. But he just has to make sure now, with how committed he is to staying out, he has to just make sure that he makes it to the end of this race now for this 43 machine.
Fine by 5. 5 laps to go right here for Paps. We'll see if he can make it.
Yep.
Check the gap as soon as Tanner crosses the line to see what it has shrunk down to.
Yep, as Tanner Tallarico got around Kyle Munson here on the front stretch, so that'll move him into P3.
Down to 9 seconds for Tanner. He's still got that 97 of Chris Harvey to get around. About 2 seconds in front of him. And I can confirm the 90 of Mike Sturgill has retired from the race.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, I do not know, Carson. If you could maybe get an update when you get a chance, maybe see if Sturgill got into anyone else or if maybe he just retired early from this event. But Justin Callahan passed this 20 car, so Skip Gandy looks like he's in very fuel conservative mode here for that 20 team, trying to make it to the end.
Pap's lead is down to a straightaway over the 1 and the 97, and it looks like Tanner's closing in on Chris Harvey for that 2nd spot.
Yep, down to about 3/4 of a second, probably half a second here in no time. So as we get 3 laps to go in the first race of the chase. Skip Gandy did get passed by Dan Parmalee. Dan Parmalee now up to 6th position here. Now has a big gap behind him to Michael Witt in that 26 car. But as we see popsicle sticks up in the air, 2 laps to go for Eric Papanow in that 43 machine.
And Tanner Tallarico to the outside of Chris Harvey as he's now crossing the line to take 2 to go, and it looks like he will clear Chris going into turn 1. So now the question is, can Paps make it another lap and a half?
So, Brad, it looks like Mike Sturgill might have been speeding too fast entering pits or something. It's kind of weird from the replay. It doesn't look like any contact or nothing. Just came down pits, looks like too fast, and decided he had enough.
Alrighty. As we come to white flag, one more lap to go. As long as Eric Papinow has enough fuel in the tank, he might be able to pick up this dub to start this race. White flag sponsored by Booster Brothers Broadcasting. As Eric Papinow comes through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Underpowered down the backstretch, looking to get through 3 and 4 now. He can pretty much just coast it. And this 43 machine will pick up win number 2 of the season. Won the opener of the season, now will win the opener of the playoffs here. Eric Papinow in the Liberty Live Church 43 gets the win here tonight. And the playoffs have started, folks.
What a great win for Paps. He won the first race of the Sportsman Series, and now he's the first race of the playoffs, and now he's thrilled to get the second win.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a party down in victory lane for all those guys. So an awesome job there for Eric Papinow to make it to the end. Tanner Tallarico brings it home second. Chris Harvey, the closer himself, brings it home third. Kyle Munson fourth, and will be the blue division leader by a couple points here over Skip Gandy, who finished seventh. So a lot of drama coming from tonight, a lot of stories, and this is only race number 1 of the playoffs as Eric Papinow puts it into the wall to burn it on down on the front stretch.
I wonder if Chad Canals told him to nose it in the wall so they don't have to worry about post-race tech.
Yeah, no kidding. Make sure that it doesn't have to worry about it. If so, he should be doing some more burnouts trying to damage those rear fenders as well. So we will try and pull these guys down and get some interviews going here in a second as we see Eric Papinow burning on down and then coming to a rest here and getting ready to jump out of the car and celebrate.
I'm at, yeah, I don't have that.
As we will talk first to our best finishing blue division driver, Kyle Munson, here in 1 second. We will make sure we got the cameras all looking good. Highlight that 27 machine and see what he has to say and how he was able to make it to the end. Kyle, do you got a copy? It's Carson, Brett, and Rich in the booth.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. A lot of stories to come out of tonight of race number 1 for the chase for the Pepsi Cup. So Kyle, you are the best finisher in the blue division. Now take over the points lead for it. How was the green machine driving tonight, and how'd you do it with getting that damage early on in this race?
Yeah, it sucks that we kind of got tangled up there in a early on wreck. 94 car spun out in front of us, so kind of compromised our race basically for the entire race. So yeah, it was just a matter of maintaining the tires, and just we kind of caught a break where we ended up getting a caution around lap 60, 55ish or something like that. So I was able to use that to my advantage and pit for fuel.
Yeah, Kyle, we're all impressed that you guys made it to the end. Did you have to worry about fuel too much? Did you have to save any fuel for this 28 machine?
I ended up with a half a gallon left, so I could have went another few laps. But I did end up. I came back down to pits a couple times just to make sure that I was topped off.
Yeah, because any sort of damage I've noticed, especially in iRacing, it kills fuel efficiency, especially in these Xfinity cars. So very smart move. Think about the big picture for this 28 team to come in the extra time, top it on off, and make it to the end and come out with a 4th place finish. That's an awesome job for your team, and hopefully you guys can carry this momentum going into Rockingham next week.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I was just trying to maintain like a top 10 because I didn't think I was going to be anywhere near the top 5. You got that damage early on. It was just a matter of, the thing's just eating tires at like lap 30. So it was a handful.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a tough track. Everyone seemed like below the bottom seam, so I'm like, oh man, the car must be plowing tight here today at Homestead. And then it seemed like a couple drivers were getting very loose off of turn 4 with that how that banking fades away there. So had that extra wheel with the tight car, and then getting that snap loose coming off of 4.
Yeah. So the trick to that was basically kind of getting the rear end to kind of unlock a little bit and rotate. So as long as you could use between 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 to your advantage a little bit, you can kind of gas it up just a touch and get it to free up, and then just kind of hold the wheel straight, and then basically just come out of the turn 2 and 4, pretty much holding the wheel straight.
All right, so some good. I enjoy the racing tidbits, and that's some racing tidbits for Kyle Munson in this 28 car. Well, before we let you go and celebrate for this Blue Division win and taking over the points lead here, anyone you got to thank, shout out to for this 28 Green Machine?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching the stream, and thanks for having me.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that's Kyle Munson. Hopefully, you can keep this momentum going forward to Rockingham. Kyle, enjoy the rest of your night and see you next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was our 4th place finisher, but our Blue Division winner, Kyle Munson. Now we will talk to the closer, 97 of Chris Harvey. Chris, do you got a copy? It's Brett Carson and Richard in the booth.
What's up, guys?
What is up? I nickname you the closer, Chris, because you quietly make your way through the field. Seem like you always enjoy starting at the back, picking through cars, and then always at the end, inside the top 10 for sure, if not the top 5, and even tonight inside the top 3. How'd you do it for this 97 car?
Well, I didn't really pass very many cars tonight. I wasn't very fast. I'm just a part-time racer in this league, so I didn't want to mess anybody up in the championship. So I just figured I'd hang out. And then whenever we had that caution with about 60 to go, I figured I might as well pit for fuel and see what happens. And then I just kind of rode around.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were all wondering if you could make it on fuel with pitting on lap 55 or later. How much fuel did you have left when you crossed that start-finish line? Kyle Munson said he had half a gallon.
I still had about 5 more laps. I was saving like way more than I should have at the beginning of the run. Obviously, when I looked up, I was like 7 seconds behind Eric, and I was like, well, I'm not going to catch him. So I saved a little bit too much, but I'll take a podium.
Yeah, always impressive, especially with this stout field we had tonight to bring it home top 3. That's always a good pat on the pack, especially for everyone involved in this top 3. So an impressive run once again for you, Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I want to thank Richard, Mike, Jamie, those guys for letting me come race with them all the time at Ironman Motorsports. American Sim Racing Club is a fun place to race. I appreciate the invite, guys. I love watching your all's broadcast back. Like I said, I'm only part-time, so I only make about once every 3 or 4 weeks. So I usually catch y'all's broadcast, and it's always very entertaining. So thanks for having me out tonight. And I wish I was a little faster, but I guess I turned a 10th place car into a 3rd by luck. So I'll take it. Thanks, guys.
Yep, no problem, Chris. That's always the half the battle we're even saying during the race. It's half luck, half performance. So you played your card right tonight, and yeah, hopefully next season, Chris, we can see you in this red division for competing for a championship, because I think you definitely can have the speed, especially when you get to these trickier tracks like Rockingham next week.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Congrats to Eric with the win, and Tanner, as always, is fast as lightning. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yep, no.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no problem, Chris. Thanks for you being here. Always a pleasure seeing this 97 car out on track. So you have a good rest of your night, and hopefully see you next week. That was our 3rd place finisher, Chris Harvey, in that 97 Sharpie machine. Now we will talk to our 2nd place finisher, Tanner Tallarico, in the 1 car. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett Carson and Richard in the booth.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Alrighty, Tanner. So I assume you knew that there's cars in front of you this time, and you knew you had to go. But they somehow were able to stretch the fuel and make it. So what was going through the mind of that one car after you pitted and saw you had a whole bunch of time to try and close on in?
Well, I kind of knew that there was going to be a few different strategies out there. I didn't expect everybody to do exactly what I was doing, and I kind of knew that if I pit when I did, that was probably going to be what went on. So I wasn't caught totally off guard by it. I will say Eric saved a hell of a lot more fuel than I thought he was going to be able to. I was just talking to him down there in the waiting room, and he said that he had about 2 gallons of fuel left when he ended the race, which was more than what I thought he would have. So props to him. I was telling him too, it's always cool to see guys get wins and stuff like that and have good runs on different strategy. I know that always makes for good viewing and makes the race really interesting. So that's awesome for Eric. It's always cool to see Eric win these races. So props to him. But yeah, just was kind of big picture racing all night long and tried to get all the bonus points that I was able to get and lead a lot of laps. And like I told you earlier, just try to stay in clean air as much as I could. And really these last 4 races, my whole goal is just to be talking to you guys at the end of all of them, and I think I'm going to do okay. So if we can keep doing that for another 3 weeks, that's the goal, and we'll try to make it happen.
There we go, Tanner. Yep, that's always about making sure you're there at the end, do the big picture racing, because we saw a whole bunch of drivers, especially in the playoffs here, get into some issues here tonight in the opening round of the chase for the Pepsi can.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I know us competitors, we talk about it quite a bit, but this championship playoff format that we're running is a little less cutthroat than what's ran in real life. So on one hand, it's kind of forgiving because it's not necessarily a one and done type of deal every single race, but it is a little bit forgiving just because it's 4 races and it's a constant running total. So I like to think of it more as just a marathon type of deal. So I know that I got to go into all 4 of these races and just run consistent and try to, if I can get the bonus points, that's obviously going to help. But if not, don't worry about it. Just try to make sure that you're getting good finishes and try to minimize any kind of damage or minimize risk over the course of 4 races. And I think that's going to be the way to go. So I'll just try to keep doing that. And Pepsi can sounds like a cool trophy, so that'd be a cool one to get. But nonetheless, this is a blast. I've had fun all year long, and this is a great group of guys. And like I said, awesome to see different names up here and, super competitive. So I guess we'll go on. I think we're either going to Phoenix or Rockingham next, so I'm looking forward to either of them. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good time next week as well.
Now, Tanner, we got to ask here before we turn it over for your list of thanking people. Are we going to see a Rogers Cars scheme on there? Because the Chevy Performance have done well, but it hasn't been in victory lane like the Rogers Cars schemes have been.
Yeah, I've kicked it around a little bit. I've never been one to really buy into the whole racing luck type of thing. I know there's guys out there that think that dollar signs are bad luck on race cars, the color green, or there's a whole bunch of different I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here. Different things related to luck out there that guys like to try to stay away from. I've never really been one to buy into that kind of stuff. So, I'd gladly run it. I know we get a kick out of doing that kind of thing. For those of you guys that don't know, RogersCars.com, it's a fictional company that's kind of an inside joke here with the league, and we try to run it and have a good time with it. So supporting my buddy Tim. And I don't know, maybe the old black and white machine will make appearance before the end of the year, but we'll have to see. I like to keep people on their toes.
There we
2-0. 2-0. That's all I got to say about the RogersCars.com car.
That is tempting. Now you say that makes it a little more tempting to want to run it. So I don't know. Maybe you'll see it next week. Maybe you'll see it the week after that. Maybe we'll give the old Chevy Performance scheme one more run, and if it doesn't produce, maybe we'll do the switch for the rest of the season or something like that. But we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes.
All right, Tanner. Well, before we let you go, we'll turn the mic over to you. Anyway, I'm sure you got a long list of people you want to thank and give a shout out to for this one team with the second place finish here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, Brett and Carson and Rich, I see you're up here tonight. So you guys for putting this on. Hopefully we put on a good race for you. Like I said, these strategy type races are always unpredictable and make for good viewing pleasure. So hopefully the race put on a pretty good show. But then I want to thank all the league sponsors that we have here at ASRC. I want to thank Luke Oil, as well as Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, Tagaray, QuickTime Motorsports Media. I say this every time I get an interview, but I'd like to thank the other two broadcast groups that we have for our other two series, the Turn 3 Racing Network, as well as Team Goon Squad on YouTube that carry our Tuesday and Wednesday series. Again, don't really have any primary sponsors on the car, just Chevrolet Performance Livery, RogersCars.com, Race Car Engineering, my family. I'm sure my mom and my grandma and maybe my girlfriend and my buddy Jared are watching this, so hopefully they got a kick out of it. And I do want to give a quick shout out to a couple other family members that I got right now. My aunt, as well as my cousins, are going through a bit of a rough time right now, so I do want to give a quick shout out to them. Try to keep them in your thoughts if you're able to, but yeah, that's about all I got, and we'll roll into Rockingham or Phoenix, whichever one's coming up next. I don't know the schedule, so whatever one's coming up next, and we'll try to have a good run there and hopefully get to talk to you then too.
All right, Tanner. Yep. You got to keep the consistency up. I'm sure you will. I'm sure we'll be talking to you here soon. And, yep, we'll keep them in our thoughts and everything at the Booster Brothers broadcasting. And if you can at home, everyone keep them in their thoughts as well. But, yep, Tanner, congrats on the race tonight. It was awesome to see you battle with Sturgill there for a little bit and make your way through the field and be able to come bring it home in second position here.
Yeah, appreciate it. And, yeah, get a chance to talk to Sturgill, but if he's watching the replay, that was an awesome race there, bud, and I hope we get to do it again here soon. But yeah, nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for putting this on, and I'll quit talking so you can talk to the winner.
All righty, Tanner. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night, and yep, we'll go down to victory lane here.
User was moved out of your
All righty, that was our second place finisher, Tanner Tallarico here. Now we will see what we can find in victory lane here for the 43 car of Eric Papanow. Eric, you got a copy. It's Brett, Carson, and Rich in the booth.
Yeah, I got you. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. A wild race here, but you got the victory. You won the opener of the regular season. Now you won the opener for the chase for the Pepsi can. How were you able to do it tonight, and how much does this win mean for this 43 team?
Just saving fuel, riding around, playing a little bit different strategy. Didn't pit with the leaders on that competition caution. Pitted a lap later and then came back in, saved a set of tires for the end if we had a late caution, but that didn't play out. Just happened to pit on that last caution, which gave me enough to cover me by about 2 extra laps. And, it just played out perfectly, and it means the world. I mean, it's absolutely so difficult to win these races. It's the level of competitions and so just intense. I'm at a loss for words. I'm still soaking it in. That's 2 for 2 in Florida, 2 for 2 for opening races of one sort or another. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, Eric. I know this race means a lot to you. I know you probably won't even fully process it till the end of the race week is over. So that's awesome to see this 43 car back in victory lane, especially to start the playoffs. Now probably tied with Tanner in points, if not leading it. So an awesome way to start the playoffs for you. An awesome rebound, because I think you even had some damage on that opening wreck. So an awesome way to rebound, and that's the way you got to do it to compete in these championships for these titles, especially like you said with the level of competition here in the Sportsman series.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so difficult to win these races. It's been a rough about month and a half trying to just be able to get into the playoffs after missing so many races earlier this season and getting that opportunity to get in and finally getting there by the skin of my teeth, but it felt like, and just being able to have this opportunity to be racing for a championship is awesome. I mean, I'm still rooting for my teammates Dan and Skip, of course, as well, because they're both in the playoffs and have a great shot at it as well. But the momentum here I'm hoping it helps out, because next race at Phoenix, that's one of my favorite tracks, a former home track of mine, so I'm excited to go back to that place. California's a good track. for me. I've ran really well there in the past. And Rockingham, I'm just going to do what I need to do.
There you go. Well, Carson, Rich, you got any questions for tonight's winner in Victory Lane?
Do you think that Kyle Larson-esque paint scheme you were running gave you any speed in the 43 car? I mean, he's been on fire in NASCAR, winning, 9 races this year?
3 in a row is what he just won, and it's maybe what's associated with Kyle Larson, but it's actually the Ricky Hendricks scheme. So definitely paying homage to the Hendricks Motorsports bunch there, even though I run the 43 for my favorite petty enterprises. I still got a lot of respect for the Hendricks Motorsports guys too, and absolutely love a lot of their paint schemes. That one just kind of clicked because I'm a fan of blue cars.
Yeah,
it definitely looked phenomenal out there on the racetrack, and it looks even better on Victory Lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, all the PPM stable cars looked phenomenal out there on track tonight, paint scheme-wise. I know a couple of them were a little beat up by the end of the race, but they always are some awesome-looking paint schemes, always popping on the broadcast. So we got to give you a shout-out for painting those things and doing an awesome job with the paint schemes.
I appreciate it. It's fun doing that, and I got some stuff in the works for the modifieds when those open up. And of course, looks like we may have a little something special going on for the last race at California.
There we go. Well, so taking this momentum, is there anything special you can apply going forward, looking to Rockingham next week at all?
Just keep the momentum up. Just keep pushing as hard as we can. I mean, even if it's not myself able to get in Victory Lane, I'd love to see Dan or Skip get up there and get an opportunity to get back into Victory Lane and everything as well. So it's not just about me; it's about the bigger picture for the team as well. So as much as I like thinking about me, I can't take anything away from them either.
Yep, teammates are always so important, especially in motorsports, with strategy to working together out on track. Well, before we let you go and fully celebrate in Victory Lane and start processing this win, Eric, I'm sure there's a whole list of people you want to give a thanks, shout out to, and sponsorships on this 43 team to make it in Victory Lane here tonight.
Absolutely, of course. First of all, as always, got to thank God for having the opportunities and giving me every day on this earth. Got to thank you as a broadcaster, like Tanner said, the other broadcasters, Team Green Squad, and Turn 3 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But also got to thank PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, QuickTime Media, Luke Oil, Tag Array. Of course, they're a team sponsor, not just a sponsor for the league, but they're one of my team sponsors, as you saw with Dan and Skip on their card. They're on mine as well. LibertyLive.Church, my family, everybody. I mean, the admin team here, everybody in the league. It's awesome to be here. Absolutely awesome.
Alrighty, awesome, Eric. Well, we won't keep you too much longer here. We'll go let you celebrate it in Victory Lane with your all-important teammates and the rest of the league. So, congratulations on the win tonight, Eric. It was definitely awesome to see, especially with the differing strategies, and you be able to pull off the win. I know it means a lot to you.
I appreciate it, guys. It's going to be a ride. Keep an eye out for the 43, the 20, and the 710 here the rest of the season. It's going to be fun.
Alrighty, Eric. Well, you have a good rest of your night and go party it on up.
Will do. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, an awesome race here tonight at Homestead. A whole bunch of different stories coming out of this race. Whole bunch of craziness, but overall, the 43 machine of Eric Papanow parks it in Victory Lane for the second time in the Sportsman Series. We will now run through the finishing order of tonight's races here. If I can get it to pop up on screen. Here we go. So Eric Papanow wins tonight's race in the 43 machine. Second place, Tanner Tallarico in the 1. Chris Harvey brings it home third. Kyle Munson winning the blue division brings it home in 4th position. And then rounding out your top 10 is Dan Parmley in the 710.
Actually, that would be rounding out the top 5.
Oh, whoops.
But in 6th place, we have the 75 of Justin Callahan. 7th will be Skip Gandy. And 8th, Mike Witt. 9th, Ron Hart. And rounding out the top 10 will be the 22 of Cody Green.
Bringing it home 11th is Tim Rogers in the 21 car. 12th is Andrew Payne in the 93. 13th is Nathan Goot in the 5. 14th is John DeMeester in the 2. And then 15th is Jamie Beasley in the 4 car.
And rounding out the field, we have Michael Sturgill, who finished in 16th. And there's my unfortunate 17th place finish. Brad Pringer will finish in 18th. And Jeff O'Quinn in that opening wreck will finish in 19th.
So, yep, a whole bunch of storylines to take from tonight. Race 1 of the chase in the books. Eric Papanow with the momentum here. Tanner Tallarico as well for the red division, carrying some good momentum. Kyle Munson with a ton of momentum for that blue division. He's going to be a force to reckon with as well. And before we go, got to thank everyone watching at home. Actually, we got a little bit of a update in the comments here. Sturgill said, yeah, he was not too pleased with a lap car there and got some nose damage, and he says his car was junk after that, and that's why he pulled it down pit road. So a bummer to see for that 90 car after running so good. So hopefully we'll see him back out here with us. Got to thank all the viewers live watching, all the commenters, Debbie, Eric, Sturgill. Thanks again for commenting, coming in. Thanks again to all the replay viewers. I know most of the guys in the league like to rewatch these things. Hopefully we put on a pretty good show. Got to thank, of course, the other broadcasters here tonight. Of course, Carson, got to give a big thank you to for being here. Always, Richard, thanks for jumping in the booth here. Of course, all the admins here at ASRC for putting this thing on. All the competitors, all the 19 guys that showed up that put on the show. Wouldn't be possible without them. Gotta thank Luke Oil, Tagaray, Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to check them out tomorrow night for some dirt action in the Pro Late models. Then Wednesday night, Team Goon Squad on YouTube. Check them out for some super late model action. I don't know. I'm always pumped up for those. And yeah, guys, should be another wild race next week at Rockingham. I'm excited to make the call and see what can unfold there.
Can't wait for it. I'll see you next Monday, Brett and Carson.
Alrighty, folks. Well, everyone out there, be safe. Enjoy the week, and see you guys all next Monday. Have a good one.